So the experience here was really important for me because there aren't many opportunities for me to be working in a Caribbean context, which for me is important. And also the way that that Patio Taller and the experience of the residency allowed me to start working on ideas that I haven't had time or a chance to really get my hands on, and do that in a community of artists that were also working on different phases of projects. So I mean, from a creative perspective, I really enjoyed that and found it really helpful. And then there was the opportunity to talk with everyone that I think was invaluable. Like I think my work is shaped as much by the time and the space and the generosity of everyone who supported us here, as much as the incredible conversations about things that sometimes maybe we don't think of as part of the creative process, about how we're here, why we're here, about colonization, about our lives, about violence and poverty, and how all of these elements are connected, even though we're so far apart in different countries or different places or from different backgrounds. And it was really inspiring to benefit from everybody's training. Everyone's coming from different areas of experience. So that was really unbelievably enriching. And the opportunity to share some of our work in progress with community members here that have been supporting Patio Taller and supported the residency at different points as well was really a wonderful opportunity, and to hear from people what they got out of the experience, to hear what it was like to see pieces that weren't necessarily connected to a local context, but then also see how they responded to the pieces from a local context, and how regardless of what the pieces were, people felt connected and curious and interested. And it seems like that it's also useful, or it seems like part of the project of connecting people to art more generally, but also connecting communities to art that speaks back to the community, which is some of what we saw here, and how that can facilitate conversations and facilitate relationships and facilitate social sustainability and health of communities. And that not being separate from the art process I think was really important to me, and an important part of this process.
Learn a little bit about how to climb this rope. If you don't learn a little bit about how to let go of this rope, you kind of end up hanging on for a really long time.
I feel really grateful for the time here at Patio Taller and this residency. It's been really magical, I think is the right word to use, because there was such a synergy and energy of the people who were involved, the people who are hosting us at Patio Taller, Videla, Michelle, and Ewilda were so generous and caring, and they thought of so many details before we even arrived. So thankful for that. And those details allowed for us to then have more fluidness and flow. And so creatively, we were able to go into our practice, but also feed each other's art. So we were each working on our individual pieces, but there was such a creative energy happening. And there was also space to just sit, because sometimes that's when all the creative energy comes, or the ideas and inspiration. And yet there was a real drive. So that combination, because of the people and the space, made it really possible and magical. I also feel that having the mix of living together and having the creative space so close to where we were living, and eating together, working with plants and medicine, like the medicine that grows and the food we eat, that's so important to our creative beings, and that it allows us to be our whole selves. So to experience that together and cultivate it together allowed us to cultivate our creative energy too. So that was a really powerful thing. And I think it's very unique, the group of people that we had, but it's also a unique experience. The people were so kind and generous, and playful and fun and open, that it allowed for creative risk to happen. So that in the studio we could go further, we could push each other further, and then we could give each other really detailed feedback in a way that was caring, but also asked us to go forward with our creative work. And that was so unique to the group. The other thing is I feel that being in Puerto Rico was really important for the work, to be in connection with a community that is outside of where I may have come from. Being from India and living in Canada and being born there and seeing the common threads that are global but also that are specific to Puerto Rico was really influential in the work. And also pushed us to create work that would speak to wider audiences. So I'm so grateful. I did not expect it to be so amazing. Like, I thought it would be amazing, but I didn't know it would be this amazing and powerful and magical, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
And through her lips come stories that none burst through her teeth. Like her raw gums before she died, she burst through to simply say, hello.
Well, Patio Taller is a really unique and amazing space, and I've toured my performance work all over Australia, all over the US and Canada, and been to a lot of different spaces. And what is unique and really special about this space is that firstly, the generosity of the hosts, of Nadella and Michelle, and also Awilda as well, in welcoming us in and just opening up the space. And the first thing Michelle said when I arrived was, if there's something you want to change about the space, if something looks better somewhere else, feel free to change it. And that just opened up this whole welcoming that we could be really creative and be part of shaping the space and part of creating something really beautiful here. And also the fact that there's that we can stay and live here and then just walk literally across the pathway to where we're going to work in the building next door is a really beautiful, way to have a residency, because, in the middle of the workday you can go back and have a nap if you need to, or, keep on sort of going backwards and forwards between the space. And I mean, the sounds at night, all the crickets and the frogs and the birds, it's just really beautiful, and the mountains surrounding. And it's also really obvious your Patio Taller's connection with the local community. I mean, people were coming and donating food, and that's, really important in a space. And something I've really appreciated was how Patio Taller is located in and involved with the local community. So yeah, just from an outside perspective of having been to a lot of different spaces, this is a really important space, and I hope that it continues to grow and get more and more support, because it's a really wonderful space.
I've never been better.